Okay, so we're reviewing palpation of the carpals. In the anatomical snuff box is the scaphoid, and it'll best be palpated with the wrist in ulnar deviation because the proximal carpal row will glide radially. You can also flex the thumb, and then that really makes the scaphoid pronounced. On the ulnar side of the wrist is the triquetrum. That'll best be palpated with the hand in radial deviation as the proximal carpal row glides ulnarly. So in the ulnar snuff box, you can palpate the triquetrum. Then on the volar side, you can palpate the pisiform, which sits right on the triquetrum. The lunate, that sits in the proximal carpal row between the scaphoid and the triquetrum, and there was a research study that identified a means of palpating the lunate as being the midpoint between the radial styloid and the ulnar styloid. And so you find your midpoint between those two areas, and the lunate should be at this point. Then other important landmarks that can help you identify bones in the distal carpal row. So if we start on the radial side, again, at the base of the first metacarpal is the trapezium, and you can palpate that at the base of the first metacarpal. At the base of the second metacarpal is the trapezoid, and really what you can feel is a bony prominence at the end of these smooth long bones, mini long bones. At the base of the third metacarpal is the capitate. At the base of the fourth and fifth is the hamate. And then on the volar surface of the hand, you can palpate hook of the hamate. It comes in diagonally from the pisiform about an inch. And that's a bony prominence on the volar side, hook of the hamate. Then to palpate the capitate on the volar side of the hand, you can identify the intersection of 4 landmarks. Those landmarks include the pisiform, the scaphoid tubercle, which you can almost see it here, it's pretty pronounced, the trapezial tuberosity, and then the hook of the hamate. And so if you find the intersection point of these 4 landmarks, capitate should be here. And capitate on the lunate at that midcarpal joint forms, again, the axis of rotation for the wrist.